What's up, everybody? Welcome. It's the end of the world as we know it. All right, that's all we can say without having to pay any money.
Yeah, 6 seconds is what you
That's
get.
it.
6 seconds.
Welcome to a new and the first Critical and Thinking podcast of 2020. Welcome. Happy New Year.
2020. Hindsight is 2020.
Well, that used to be a thing.
Yes.
I don't know where it is now because 2020 might be the end. Well, first and foremost, let me just say Happy New Year to everyone who made it into the new year because, you know, we don't know where things are going, but you're here.
Yes.
So that's the most important thing. And how was your New Year's?
It was good. We didn't do anything. We stayed at home and we played games.
What up, Derek?
We stayed at home, played games, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, shoot, it's like 12. Oh, the people are shooting in the neighborhood. Okay, it's 12 something. No, that was it. It was cool. It was really fun though. We just chilled at home and did. We were supposed to go to Travis's.
Oh, y'all didn't go?
And then he got sick.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so.
No. We were in New York. That's where I got this shirt from, and you can see my shirts. That's right. Hip hop all day.
That's right.
We went to New York. It was dope. It was so fun, man. Let me tell you something. We did not go into Times Square. We were near Times Square, and when the ball dropped, we were far away from it, which is totally fine. I mean, I told you the line to get into Times Square was about 5 blocks at least. And I told you the crazy part was because we had every intention of trying to go into Times Square and be there for the thing.
Right.
And they said the only way you're going to actually be there for the ball to drop and see it that close is if you posted up all day. Like all day. You couldn't go like a few hours early. You had to go like a day. And it's
Like it was Black Friday or something.
Pretty much. And it said people were wearing diapers. Diapers, bro. like getting diapers and just peeing and pooping and standing there. Do you understand? That has to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, they're like, you want to, yeah, you want.
There's what'd you say? Imagine that was your first.
It was your first date, yeah.
Hey, babe.
Hey, you want to go on this? Depends.
By the way, the podcast is sponsored by Depends. So yeah, but it was so nice, man. Because I've always wanted to, New York is my favorite city. I've always wanted to experience the city during New Year's. So it was actually really, really cool. The trip overall was nice. I got to see Big Daddy Kane in New York, so I got to see one of my favorite hip hop artists in my favorite city. Still ate my linguine and clams. It was actually so great. And shout out to Trattori Tricoli. Anybody going to New York and you want good Italian food, Trattori Tricoli. I'm sure I'm fucking up the name, but it's on 47th and 8th. So check it out.
47th and 8th. That sounds like they shouldn't be crossing.
No,
but in New York they cross.
They cross. Yes.
Avenues and streets or whatever.
It's 47th Avenue. Yeah.
47th Avenue.
40. Yeah.
8th Street.
Yes. You've been. We went there when we went. That's where we sat at the bar. Great hospitality. I love those guys. They always make me feel welcome, and they give me extra alcohol. So shout out to them.
And oddly enough, that when we went before last year, when I went with my family, we ended up staying in the hotel directly next door to it. And we went in there by accident, and you're like, hey, that's my place. I was like, oh shit.
Dude, and it's super nice. So, all right, you guys, let's get into. What do you want to start with? Do you want to start with we can start with the major thing, or we can start with something a little bit lighter. Did you see Ricky Gervais?
I did, and I saw your post about it. I didn't know that other people were celebrating. I'll tell you, first off, I thought he was fucking funny, and I think he was. Although I'm really familiar with Ricky Gervais, I watch everything he does. I love him. I think he was really fucking with himself too. I think that's where these redneck right-wing douchebags don't get. It's like he's a super liberal atheist guy. He's taking the piss out of himself and everybody.
And that's why. And that's what I was hoping, but I was reading so many comments from comics, bro.
Right.
Comics. I can get it if you're not a comedian and you just think this dude is taking the piss out of liberals, even though that's not,
Right.
But
he didn't even say anything about liberals. He was just making fun of you people are self-important. We're here giving ourselves awards for doing shit.
But when I saw comedians going as like, yeah, that's right, you stick it to them, stick it to Hollywood. First of all, understand something. If you're a comedian in this business, guess where you want to be? Hollywood.
Right, yeah, exactly.
You want to be in Hollywood, so stop it with that bullshit of, oh man, yeah, that's right. All those guys think they're full of it. If somebody came to you right now and gave you a movie deal or a TV show, you would be your ass on the first fucking plane to Los Angeles.
Right.
Stop pretending. Ricky Gervais himself, he wouldn't give up all of this.
He even said he made fun of his own show and Netflix. He even said he goes whatever his show was. He goes this is, he goes, even that's even my shitty show is more entertaining than this right now.
Yeah.
But he was making fun of it. Like
which I'm totally fine with the joking part of it. What I had an issue with was when people, and I still feel this way. I don't like when people try to champion the thing of saying celebrities shouldn't say anything about it. Stop that.
And here's the thing. The oddly enough, I know he said that. I know he said, and he was doing it as a joke. He said, so come up here, thank your agent,
and your God.
Think whatever God, and get the fuck off because we got to show, because it's already 3 hours long. And
right.
And he was making a joke about how people go up there and they talk forever. He goes, he is the most political dude out there. He's always talking about
like that, right?
Yeah, he's always talking about politics. He's very left leaning. He's a huge atheist. He's a very big advocate for separation of church and state. So he was making a joke about everyone's got a thing. It's 3 hours. Let's just say thanks and get the fuck out of here, right? But the thing is that, yeah, and it's funny, but he's an asshole. But he was trying to be an asshole. So I'm like, but that's the thing is, he gets the irony of his own jokes.
Right.
The fact that people aren't getting the irony of his jokes is ridiculous to me.
That's part of my issue with it is like, you do understand he's part of the system that you say you hate. And he's making fun of the fact that he's part of the system that you say you hate.
Well, one of my favorite things though is he goes, we're all up here making these. I'm paraphrasing, but he said everybody's up here making their political statement. He goes about suffering in the world and this and that. He goes, and all of you are employed by Disney, Apple. He goes, if ISIS came up with a streaming service, y'all call your agent tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's fucking true. Yeah. All these people are like, we've got to stop the suffering in the world. Watch my new show on Apple. It's like, what the fuck? Like,
and this is why I say, like, so it was a couple of things in there I looked at and I said, okay, first of all, please stop saying that people with a voice should stop voicing their opinions.
Yeah, no, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Whenever I hear, especially, and again, I told you, the average Trump supporter, when they said it, I'm like, I get it. You're stupid as fuck. I get it.
Right.
You felt like he was taking the piss out of people that you hate. Yeah. But for people with rational thought, and I keep saying this, this is for anybody. Whenever comedians fall into this trap, I'm always like, we're supposed to be better than that.
Right.
We're supposed to have better rational thinking process. If you have a voice, if having your voice and doing something with it doesn't mean anything, then why do you try to get your followers up? Why do you try to have any kind of social media standing?
Well, and more than that, or aside from that, this weird idea that because they are celebrities, that means they are less of Americans. They don't get to have a voice. Not only should they not use their voice, they don't get to have one, and they don't know what they're talking about. Well, let's break that down. You work at fucking Walmart as a greeter, have 9 kids, live in a trailer park, and fucking are on welfare. Why is and you probably have a 10th grade education. This person is probably fairly educated. They've probably studied a lot more than you. Why is their opinion not at least as important as yours, if not more?
Think about that. If someone came to them and said, well, yeah, you say their opinion doesn't matter because they're removed from society and they don't have to deal with the same things. Well, then, okay, we don't value the opinion of someone that makes $35,000 a year.
Right.
How about that? If you're a janitor, your opinion doesn't matter. I guarantee you, janitors will be up in arms. Right. Waitresses would be pissed.
Well, and why is it that the right wing, they don't like, they always talk about celebrities shouldn't have a voice. Somebody posted, my friend posted this earlier, they elected Reagan.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
They elected Trump.
That's a good point.
They elected Sonny Bono. They elected Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's right. That's right.
All celebrities, people. All the Republicans that have ever made it to office are fucking celebrities. I mean, all the celebrities are Republicans.
And the dude right now that has his finger on the nuclear button was hosting a fucking reality TV show 3 years ago.
Right.
Quit. This is what I don't get about people. Do you think that we don't remember this?
Right.
You think
Well,
that
they don't remember it. That's the problem because they didn't pay
Isn't
attention.
that crazy? That's
Right.
it's like you act like this dude was a Rhodes Scholar, just came out of nowhere, worked his way up, just and did it. This motherfucker was hosting a game show. So stop acting like, oh no, now we don't want Hollywood involved.
Right.
The dude is the dude that right now who literally has control over what happens to this country was saying, we'll be right back after these messages.
Yeah, you're fired, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like he had celebrities on a show about where he was fake giving them an apprentice job for first off, which is hilarious because all those people are a million times more qualified than fucking Donald Trump. By the way, Zen says over, he goes, I have no tolerance for any entertainer who chooses to be apapolitical at this point. Absolutely. If you have a fucking voice,
you should
use it. Absolutely. Actually, I actually really liked Patricia Arquette came up and said something. I like that. And again, for anyone who thinks Ricky Gervais doesn't like that, you're nuts. He does it all the time. He was making a joke. He was roasting everybody. It was he doesn't really care. He actually probably secretly liked that Patricia Arquette said something about abortion. I'm sure he's on that same side. He was like, yeah, that's the right. He was just making a joke. He even said, all this is just jokes. I'm just fucking around. This is my last year doing this. I'm going to fuck with you all. He goes, are you ready to be roasted? Like, he was roasting people. It was a fucking joke.
Could you imagine if Muhammad Ali, which, by the way, they did try to tell that to Muhammad Ali, to not voice his opinion on anything.
Yeah.
You know who was apolitical, and you found out the reason why? Because this motherfucker was selfish? Elvis. Yes. Elvis was apolitical, and he said specifically he just didn't want to get involved with that. He just wants to sell records and shit. Do you understand? We live in a society where, unfortunately, even if you got a good message, if you're not popular enough, no one pays attention.
Right.
If you want to hide, what do they say? If you want to hide something, put it in a book because no one's gonna fucking look.
Well, you know who's actually really surprised me the last couple of years? Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect anything, but she was apolitical, and then she said, finally, okay, I got to stand. She got some, 1 million people to register for vote.
I remember that.
That is crazy that she's got that kind of power. Why should she not use that, first of all? And more importantly, what precludes somebody from being able to speak their mind just because they're a celebrity? That's what I don't get.
Well,
why is your important? I don't mean to make fun of everybody who works at Starbucks or Walmart or whatever you do. You could be a fucking accountant. You could be a fucking CEO of a fucking company and make millions of dollars a year. But why is your?
Thank you for that, Rob. Appreciate that, bro.
Why are you guys more important and have more to say than people? Most celebrities are pretty educated.
Yeah,
most of them are affluent.
What it is that when someone, because again, no one is telling Kid Rock to shut the fuck up. No one is telling Ted Nugent to shut the fuck up because they're on their side, and this tribalism is what's fucking people up. So you have to understand something, all right? If you have a voice and you don't use it, then really, what is your point? I mean, I get it. You're making records and you're making money, and that's awesome, but let me tell you something, and for us specifically, for Ian and I specifically, and I've said this on previous shows about us. We have families. You know what I'm saying? I have daughters. He has a daughter. We have people that will go on, willing, hopefully, if this planet is still here, that will go on beyond us. So we could easily just be selfish as fuck and just have a podcast talking about frivolous shit that didn't even matter. But we don't do that. Because we do care, and even though we don't have a voice even as close as big as Ricky Gervais or as Taylor Swift, we have people that tune in. Thank you guys, by the way, for tuning in, the people out there. So we want to try to help people. We want to try to get people to vote. We want to get people to understand that there is a crisis going on that you should care about. There are people that can't eat. There are people that don't have homes. There are people that don't have health care. So why would we not use our voices to try to help them? So people who have a bigger voice, for you to have the fucking nerve to sit there and tell them they should be quiet, fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's insane. And on top of that, for the most part, the messages that people on the left are saying are positive messages.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, like you said, healthcare. Let's get kids out of cages. Hey, let's let women have their fucking
Let
right
them
to
have
their,
right to their bodies.
right, their
Basic
own
shit.
autonomy. Like, why are you opposed to that? Like, it's weird, but like, if somebody went up there and said, "Hey, I'm gonna give $10 million to feed homeless people, and I want everyone out there to donate money, and I've got millions of people watching me right now. Everyone donate $10 to feed homeless people." Why do you have a fucking problem with that?
Yeah.
Because that's basically what these people
Well,
are doing. That's what Patricia Arquette said. That's what they're saying. Hey, we need to help people who need help. Like, I don't know what
Because
the
they've
problem
been
is.
trained to not. Again, these are basic things.
Well, also, there are people that don't look like them.
There you go.
That's it. Like, again,
Which is weird.
Hey, you want free healthcare? Hell yes, I want free healthcare. Hey, you know what? Everyone's gonna get it. Brown people too.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
Well, then I'll tell you what. Screw it. I don't want no goddamn healthcare.
I want to die.
I'd rather die as long as that goddamn Mexican.
It's just I just don't understand why basic things are things that we're still debating in the world today. Saving the planet. Unless you guys got a fucking spaceship and you already got a house, if I can tell you right now, if you do have a house and you know the Avengers or Thor or any of these people, yeah, okay, maybe you don't really need to be on Earth.
Question about this planet. Do Mexicans get to live on the planet when it's alive?
You know what I'm saying? What I don't get is,
How about black people?
Is people.
And I don't want no damn Earth.
See, exactly. And this is, I'm telling you, bro.
Doesn't matter. Jesus is coming to save the white people.
the-
White Jesus is coming to
White
save the white.
Jesus is coming.
White Jesus is coming to save the white people.
Not the bronze skin, hair of lamb's wool Jesus.
No,
the
white Jesus.
The Point Break Jesus.
Point Break.
The Point
Point Break
Jesus
Jesus.
is coming. You know?
Bodie, I am here for your sins.
I'm telling you,
He's not coming back.
It's just very strange
But
to
I
me.
am.
Yeah, but exactly, Derek. We are walking among psychopaths. And his was crazy, dude. And his was to your point. Go
And
back.
thank you, Todd. Todd says Comedy Central needs to make this a TV talk show. We pitched this to Comedy Central
and
twice.
Yeah,
And they said that the America's not interested in.
but now his was crazy. When you can convince people that, and we talked about this. It was a meme.
And thank you, Todd.
It's a meme out there where it's a king standing over the subjects, and half of them have pitchforks,
Half
and have
like
torches, right? Not tiki torches, but right. And
Might
so
as well.
the king's right hand man says to the king, "Sire, the peasants are revolting. They're coming to get us." And the king says, "Well, all we got to do is convince the people with pitchforks that the people with torches are coming to take their pitchforks." And that's what we're living that right now. Because I can't think of any other reason why if you're living in a trailer park, if you're living in any kind of situation where you can't go and get checked out when you need to get checked out, and you don't have regular food, your kids don't have regular food, I can't think of why you would think that someone trying to get you help, even if they are a Democrat or independent,
Right.
even if that is the case, I can't understand why you are against that. Now I can see it, and
Right.
we can. If you want to debate guns, that's a whole nother thing. Even though I still think that I don't understand why you need a fucking assault rifle, but healthcare, a clean environment, and
Maybe education for your kids,
education,
livable
and a
wage?
livable wage. This is all shit that benefits literally everybody.
And the people that are fighting against it most. Like the poor white Alabama trailer park living dude, you need $15 an hour.
Yes.
Like what? And they'll be like, well, it's going to raise the price of my Whopper. You know what else is going to raise the price of your Whopper? 2020, 2021, the CEOs who want more money, it's going to fucking happen every year.
Also, the fact that you're probably going to need insulin from eating all those goddamn Whoppers,
Right.
which you probably won't be able to afford.
And the fact that those Whoppers are fueling the greenhouse gases, and it's the number 2 cause of climate change is the beef industry.
So at the end of the day, and this is, I don't understand what's going to make it change, and this is why I say, to come back to the original point,
Corey,
you're
Point Break, Jesus, come at me as you are, bro.
at some point you have to realize, black, brown, left, right, whatever. If you are not rich, and when I say rich, I don't mean like you make 6 figures a year. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you're not uber rich, they don't care about you. They could care less about you, as a matter of fact. If they could purge you as well, they would. Do you understand?
Yes.
So stop with this.
What do you mean they would? They're trying.
Yeah,
What do you think?
Sorry,
what do you think? No health care and guns are? It's a purge.
That's
exactly what it is. By the way, and Zen over here says, if you think a gun is more beneficial than health care, he goes, you're not a grown up. Absolutely true.
What up, James P. Conley? What up, Donald? How you feeling?
And it is kind of funny. It's like, but I do have a Facebook friend, who he says he doesn't want health care because he doesn't need it. I'm healthy. I don't need it. I'm not kidding you. He says that. He goes, I don't need health care. I don't need insurance. He doesn't need insurance. I don't need insurance.
Everybody says they don't need insurance until they need insurance.
Right. Until you get into a car accident, until something happens.
Because I'll be honest with you, I hate having to pay car insurance. I hate it. I despise it. I hate that I'm just giving that money away. And you know, but if something happens to your car, who's the first person you want to call? Someone that's going to help you get your shit fixed.
Right.
So if you don't have, imagine needing surgery. And I'm talking about even, you know, I always forget this. An ambulance ride costs $500 to come
I think it's more than that even now.
I thought it's more than that. Oh,
oh
my
yeah,
God.
it's expensive.
To come pick you up and take you.
Right.
Yeah, we'll be on our way. We want to save your life. We value your life. You got insurance, right? All right. We're good.
When I was a kid, we didn't have insurance back then because nobody did, unless you were rich. But I broke my arm, and I'm laying on the side of the road because I was skateboarding and I fell. I'm laying on the side. It was. Thank you, Derek. It was Silas who said it. But I'm laying on the side of the road, and dude comes over. First off, it was hilarious because it was in Santa Cruz, and this dude crossed the street. He goes, "Whoa, dude, that was fucking gnarly. I heard that shit snap from across the street." He's like, "That shit's all bent backward like this, dude."
Point Break
anyway,
Jesus?
Totally. Exactly. It was, and so anyway, another guy pulls over and he goes, "I'll help you out." He goes, "I'm an EMT, whatever." He was a paramedic, but he goes, "I can't move you because I'm licensed." He goes, "I'm going to call the ambulance." And I go, "Don't call the ambulance. Just take me to the thing." He goes, "No, I'm licensed. If I move you, I could get in trouble. I got to call the ambulance." I'm like, you know how much I go, you know, the hospital I'm going to have to go to when my dad gets the ambulance bill. And I swear to you, that's all I could think about was like, when my dad gets his ambulance bill. Because I was like 15, 16. And then when we got the ambulance bill, my dad was like, "You could have walked to the goddamn, what was it, 3 blocks away?"
Oh my God. Oh, what was that comment?
David, who's actually, David, everyone needs insurance, but insurance companies are fucking us, and the government is letting them because they're getting a piece of the action. They're all in it together. Well, you know what, David, though, that's not actually true.
Well,
really quick. The government doesn't have anything to do with the private insurance. It's the people that are giving the insurance are the mostly GOP senators who are taking kickbacks from insurance companies. If the government ran our health care like they do everywhere else, we would get prices way reduced because there wouldn't be a competition for it. They could come in and say, we're paying $100 for a fucking hip, not $20,000 for a hip.
I'm gonna give you a
But you're right.
specific-
It
is the insurance companies.
The insurance companies are fucking us.
You're absolutely right about that.
But it's because there's a profit, because it's capitalism. That's why. Healthcare should not be capitalism.
And this is why I get mad every time somebody blames Obama for everything happening with Obamacare and their insurance prices. I'll give you a scenario that specifically happened to me in car rental, just so you can understand what these motherfuckers are doing. I had to rent a car on a regular day. It was a Tuesday. I was going up to Seattle. Regular day. No holiday, no nothing. I went to rent the car, and the car was $9 a day. $9. I was great. Cool. Fast forward to 2 weeks later, right? It's Thanksgiving or Christmas, one of those two holidays. That same rental company trying to rent that same car was $90 a day. A day.
Right.
And I asked the lady, I said,
Supply and demand.
why is it? And she said, supply and demand. You need a car on Christmas. You're not going to just sit at home. You need a way to get around. So we know that people need cars around this time. We know people are going to be really trying to go see their relatives and have fun and enjoy the holiday. So we raised the prices. This is what the exact same thing with the insurance company did. Once it was put in there, and yeah, it probably was a problem to say that you need to get insurance because they pounced on that shit and said, yeah, well, fuck it. So everybody got to have it. We're just going to raise our prices. No one gets mad at the company. Why would you not get mad at the company for because they don't have to raise their prices?
But also, let's not forget. Well, most people don't know, I guess, because I keep hearing people go, "Obama said that we would get to keep our insurance. Obama said the prices weren't going up." Yes, because that's the plan that he had put forth.
Mm-hmm.
It had been changed by Republicans and Democrats. There were Democrats. There's a good chunk of moderate and right-leaning Democrats that also have their hands in the fucking insurance company pockets.
Right.
And they wouldn't pass the bill unless they made provisions. And those provisions allowed the power to stay with the insurance companies. And a couple of those were, A, that they could cancel you, and that they could raise rates. Those weren't in the initial fucking thing that was handed over. That's what people. So
but this is what happens when people
when
don't read.
when he said that, hey, you're going to be able to do this and this. That's because that's the plan that was put forth. Then it was fucked over and given back. And the reason Obama and everybody signed it, even knowing that that was probably going to cause some problems and that some of that stuff is because the main things. They can't kick you off until you're 25, and the pre-existing conditions. And there was one more. There was another one that there was three major.
By the way, the Republicans are trying to get pre-existing conditions taken out. Just so you guys.
Those main things saved millions of people's lives and insurance. Just those things. So yeah, your rates might have gone up a little bit. Some people's went down. Some people's went up. Yeah, and it wasn't exactly what we wanted. But there were tons of people who couldn't be kicked off or denied insurance because they had cancer, because they had pre-existing conditions. And kids, people didn't just get kicked off at 18 when they were turned an arbitrary adult. So,
by the way, just real quick side note, you know one of the people that was benefiting from not getting kicked off till they're 25? Tommy Lauren. One of the main people at Fox that tells you Obama was shitty.
Right.
She was one of the main benefactors of not getting kicked off insurance by when you're 25.
Yeah, she even said, "Oh, I'm still on my parents' insurance." I wonder why that is. So that's the reason they pushed it through. The idea was that we were going to push it through, get these things going, and then we were going to improve upon it.
Yeah.
But what's happening is the Republicans, who then took over and had all three branches of government from 2016 to 2018, they're in there trying to get rid of all of the good things and keep the shitty ones. Yeah. They're keeping the price raising. They're keeping all of that, but they're trying to get rid of the pre-existing conditions.
They're suing for that, no matter what.
Meanwhile, imagine that the government comes in, and I'm not suggesting this because car rental is not a right that we should have. I don't give a shit about car rental, but let's use the car rental analogy. If the government came in and said, we are now mandating car rentals,
right,
which they should do some sort of restrictions on it. But if they come in and go, we have government car rental, national car rental, not national, okay? And the rate you cannot charge, and they negotiate with the companies and they go, you cannot charge more than $30 a day for a compact.
Right.
You cannot charge, now you can go down to 9, but you can't go more than 30.
More than 30.
Then Enterprise, Hertz, all these other people, they can charge whatever, they can do that, sure. But they're not going to get the business because the companies that are under the government version can't charge more than 30. So they're always going to be charging 30, which means the car companies have to fall in line or they will lose all of that business. That's what happens when the government is involved in healthcare, is they come in and they say, here's how much a prescription drug costs. Insulin can't cost more than this much. They negotiate for that because they have the most people, they have the most power. Now the pharmaceutical companies have to kowtow to that. And they can say, okay, they can negotiate. Go, okay, it's $100 for insulin. Right now, the insurance companies and the pharmaceutical companies are working together, and they'll charge whatever the fuck they want to charge.
Yes.
And there's no one saying no, you can't charge that.
Like $1,000 for a pill.
Right.
Like $1,000. Do you understand? And that's not Obama charging you $1,000 for a pill. And at some point, you fucking inbred idiots. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that. That's disrespectful to idiots. At some point, you are going to have to blame this administration. At some point, I don't know when you're going to do it. At some point, you have to understand that one of the first things that these people did when they got in office and had control of all three branches was made sure that the rich people got richer. That's the first thing they did. They didn't say, you know what, let's take care of these people that voted for us. They didn't do that. They didn't say, hey, you know what, let's make sure everyone has health care. They didn't do that. They didn't say, you know what, let's make sure we raise the minimum wage. They didn't do that. They said, everybody that is rich, here's some more money.
Right.
That's the very first thing they did when they had control of all three branches. Now, all of a sudden, since they don't have that, now they're saying, oh, well, you know, we got to figure out this, while at the same time still trying to take away your health care.
Right.
Here's the reason why they're getting away with it. Because they're doing it in your face now, just so you guys know. Mitch McConnell is not even hiding this shit anymore.
He's not even trying to hide his own treason at this point. He's
No,
like,
no.
yeah, I'm going to work with. We're not going to have witnesses. We're going to speed this trial through, even though it's the most egregious example of impeachment in violations in history. And we're working with the fucking criminal who we're impeaching, but not working with the other side or not working with Congress.
That? I just want to say, just put this in regular perspective for you.
You're at a
That's like somebody breaking in your home, right? Just so you guys, for the people that don't understand politics, just put it in regular perspective for you. That's like somebody breaking into your home. You have on your Ring camera that they broke into your home. They have the possessions in their house stolen from you, right? Okay, cool. The cops come to you and they say, yeah, we found the evidence in their house. We got them on the camera robbing your home and all that. But here's the thing. We're going to work with them to try to help figure out how they can get away with robbing your house.
Right. And here's the thing. The guy's brother and all of his roommates and his accomplices are going to be the jury.
Do you understand? Do you understand how stupid? And this is what I mean.
Wait, and who's gonna be the judge? The guy himself. Oh, well, can I call a witness? Well, depends.
Yeah, I was about to say, which witness do you want? I want to call the witnesses that will help me prove that he stole the stuff. No, we can't have.
But I'll tell you what we can do. We can call the son of another guy who stole a candy bar from a grocery store down the street. Well, what does that have to do with anything? He stole a fucking candy bar!
I thought you were concerned about theft.
Yeah, exactly.
So, hey, what's up, Chris? What's up, Richard? What's up, Suzanne? It's just amazing to me the level of common sense that these people have thrown away all for one dude, one guy. Now, let me ask you this. Are you throwing it away for Gandhi? Nope. Are you throwing it away for Martin Luther King? No. Are you throwing it away for even Point Break Jesus? No, you're not. You're throwing it away for a corrupt con man, liar, cheater of a horrible person. You have to own that. You may not feel like you're going to deal with it now, but guess what? History will show who you were, and when you need something and these motherfuckers don't give it to you, you will feel it. And this is what I feel like some of these people have to take at this point. All right, they have to.
I feel you, David.
The shit has to happen to them personally for them to understand the problem. What was that you said? It was something you said. The Republicans, they don't. It was a meme. It's like, I didn't care about this until such and such, such and such. What was that? I didn't care about gay people until I found out I had a gay relative or something like that.
Yeah, well, I think it's actually an old thing from. I think it's an old World War II. I didn't care about. I didn't care about this group until they came for those group, and then I didn't care about this group, and then they came for that group, and I didn't care about this group, and they came for that. Now they're coming for me, and there's nobody to back me up. Basically, is what it is.
Yeah.
Like I didn't care about the Jews because I wasn't a Jew.
Yeah.
Well, and then I didn't care about the handicap because I wasn't handicapped. I didn't care about the black people because I wasn't handicapped. I wasn't black. Okay, but now they're coming after
Exactly.
liberals. Who's here to back me up? Anyone here to back me up?
I said this.
Shit.
I said this when everything started. I said, you guys think that he's just gonna fuck with black and brown people. Then guess what happened? Not even 3 years later, women can't get abortions if they want to. And gay people are now. You're on the top of the list. Not the top of the list because black people. We're the Michael Jordan of oppression. So no one's gonna take that title. But now, women, you have no control over your bodies. Gay and trans people have to worry about walking the streets and anywhere. I keep trying to tell you guys, if you're not in their group, they don't care.
Right.
They will tell you that they care, and it's up to you whether you want to believe it or not. But words, they mean nothing without the actions.
The thing that throws me is that, you know how many Hispanic, there's quite a few Latino Trump supporters.
Dude, it's
That's the craziest one to me.
I don't get it.
They're like, I got mine, get yours.
And
I-
right
like
there.
I have a friend who came here illegally. His ex-wife came here illegally. Their kids are what kept them in the country. And all he does is talk about illegals and the caravans and all this. And I'm like, motherfucker, you and your wife came here illegally.
Dude, hey, what up, Rico?
And your parents were here illegally. You brought your parents, and then you had kids here. You had,
This
quote
is
unquote,
why-
the anchor babies that you always bitch about
Exactly.
are your kids.
You have to, at some point, America, and I'm telling you, let me just be very clear. So, and I can't totally speak for Ian, but I can tell you some of the things that we don't want to come on this podcast and talk about these things that we talk about all the time. We don't. There's a lot of times we just want to talk movies, sports, just regular shit. We want to do that. We want to come here and just talk frivolous stuff. I want to talk about the food I made the other day, but every day is something that happens that makes us say, man, we cannot not talk about this.
Right.
So we want to put that disclaimer out there. You want us to not talk about this shit, fix the shit, and then we won't even have to talk about it.
Yeah, it's well. Let's a couple things. Then I actually got a couple things that would be kind of more lighthearted. But I do want to say before we get there, let's talk about a couple things. First off, here's the other Trump shit that's driving me nuts right now. Did you hear what he came out and said that he won't give us the evidence. He won't give us the evidence that Soleimani was an imminent threat.
You know why he won't?
Because there isn't any.
well, I'm sorry, it's two reasons. One, because there isn't any, but two, he's convinced his followers that they don't even need it now.
No, because they don't. But he says there was an imminent threat. They had things planned. Oh, what things planned? Things planned. What things planned? He's been planning things since Obama. Oh, well, then why didn't we kill him earlier? He had things planned, and now there's an impeachment, so I needed to kill him. Okay, we get that. But here's the thing. Now they're saying, how do you know? And he goes, we have the best intelligence agencies. He literally said, we have the best intel in the world. We have the best intelligence agencies in the world. Let's rewind
to last week.
3 days ago,
Yeah,
when he said that the intelligence agencies were the worst. They were the deep state. Yep. All the stuff they found out about Russia, all the stuff they found out about him, all the stuff they found out about Ukraine was all bullshit. It was all nonsense.
All meant they're spies.
Now we have the best intel in the world, and none of you motherfucking Trump nut huggers are catching on to the shit. You still aren't catching on to it. The guy lies out of his fucking ass and just makes shit up on the fucking spot, contradicts the shit that he said yesterday, and you don't give a fuck. Why? Because he's a white guy? I don't fucking get it.
Dude, well, that is a huge part of it. But also, tribalism, to be honest with you, I'd never really understood. I mean, I knew the word and I understood it. I knew what it was and all that shit. I had never really paid attention to it until now. Because this is the first time that I can think of that we've been this divided in our mindset of common shit. Like you said, days ago, he was shitting on the Intelligence Committee. Because I even asked it, I posted it, I said, well, okay, so what intel did you get that made you do this if you don't trust the intel of our country? Where did you get the information from? Where did it come from? Oh, now we have the best. Okay, well, then give us the information since it's the best.
Right.
Well, no, we don't have it. If you don't understand how stupid that sounds, you're stupid.
But look at everything that Lindsey Graham has said. Look at everything that Mitch McConnell said. They directly contradict now Zen just pointed out, now they're trying to, Lindsey Graham wants to strip Congress of its right to impeach. The same guy who said that we should impeach Clinton, you don't even need a crime.
Over one lie.
You don't even need a crime. It's like these guys contradict each other. It's insane. But here's the other thing that was funny. Well, not funny. He wants to blow up the cultural sites. That's great. Everyone's saying no.
You talking about the terrorists? The terrorists over there want to blow up our cultural sites?
Oh yeah. No. We terrorists want to blow up there. Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Oh.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if some other country was like, if their president, if the president of Germany just came on and said, yeah, we're in a conflict with
John?
We're in a conflict with the United States. We're not opposed to blowing up the Statue of Liberty, during rush hour. We're not opposed to that.
We would be freaking out.
We're fine with bombing Disneyland. Who the fuck cares about those kids at Disney? Like, that's the equivalent of what Trump is saying, and people are like, because they're Iranians.
I'm not gonna lie, though. I mean, those prices at Disneyland.
But here's
I want to read Derek. Derek said, I have been wondering this for a while now. Where are the pics of these service members that were killed by the embassy? Not saying that it didn't happen, but wasn't there supposed to be a memorial service for these? Exactly.
Show us.
But this is what I'm saying. When you can convince people to just and again, I just want to be clear. You're asking us to take the word of a dude who has 15,000 registered lies. That's not even. I'm not even. I wish it was an exaggeration.
Yeah.
You're asking us to take the word of a dude who lies all the time, and you're asking us to take the word of an administration, Mike Pompeo, who sat there on television and pretended he didn't know anything about the call to uphold aid to Ukraine. Was found out later to actually be on the fucking
like
call.
A week later. Oh yeah, that call. Oh, I thought you were talking about when he called Domino's. No. I didn't know anything about the meat lovers pizza that he ordered.
So I want to be clear to everyone out there that is supporting this. Understand something. When shit gets more fucked up than what it is, you can try to spin it and act like you had nothing to do with it, but you have everything to do with it. Why? Because the only reason this dude is lying to your face is because he knows you will allow him to.
Right.
The only reason that this administration is doing what they're doing is because they know they have people that won't even question them. Where the fuck is your patriotism when you won't even question blatant lies? Yeah. So...
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, but I don't give a fuck.
Oh, shit.
No, do you hear that that Iran has a bounty on Trump's head?
Yeah.
It started at 80 million. It's now up to 100 million. Okay. And my first thought was, Iran is just trying to make America great again.
That's hilarious. Hilarious. Now everybody.
Oh, you want to kill Trump? You want to kill the president? I didn't say that. I said Iran want to kill the president. But if they did, God forbid they kill the president. It's never going to happen, obviously.
Did you hear what happened?
If they did, America.
You got to look at the silver lining of stuff.
You know, here's the thing. Actually, I bet you. I wrote up and talked about this earlier. I actually think that might be his plan because you guys, you MAGA people have convinced me that that I asked about this is true. I've had 10, 20 different people tell me that all the people that are being arrested, that the Manaforts and the Roger Stones and all these people that he employed, that are found out to be corrupt and doing horrible, evil shit that are now in prison. There's 8 people that are in prison. That's Trump draining the swamp. They say that he hired the worst people. No, they really say this. He hired the worst people, and then he pretended to lure them into some criminal activity so that they could get arrested.
That's weird because he said that was exactly what
the
DNC did to him.
No, but he's draining the swamp. So I'm thinking that maybe him bombing and killing Soleimani is and then getting the bounty on his own life is a suicide attempt so that he can help drain the swamp. So that at the end we can, just like Jesus, he's killing himself so that we see how amazing Trump was. Trump is helping us.
My head hurts while you
He's helping us fix our democracy, so we see how broken it is.
Stop.
We can see we elected this horrible human being.
I can't even continue with that.
Come on,
Corey. Oh, by the way, Corey.
He just contradicted himself about the intel.
Oh, he did. Yeah. See. But by the way, Corey and Kev, they have a great podcast, which Ian and I will be doing sometime soon. So look for that crossover podcast coming up. But Corey, what did he say?
Wait, were they contradict himself, or it's like being a Cowboys fan?
Yeah, it's like
fuck the evidence. We're just the best.
Yes. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, if what you're saying,
and David, I don't know if America's really in charge of itself. I think there's about 10 billionaires who are in charge of everything.
Right. Okay. But to your point, then, David. To your point.
But who gave them that power? The people that are in charge.
Exactly. And this is why I'm saying, if you are a person that works a regular job or poor, you don't have a job, you don't have the necessities to live your life, tell me why you're fighting for this dude. Give me a good reason why you're fighting for this dude. It can't be because he's morally high, because we know that's not true. It can't be because he's smart. We know that's not true. It can't be because he's not corrupt. You goddamn well know that that's not true. And it can't be because he's helping you.
And it can't be because he's doing a great job in foreign relations.
Exactly. So please help us understand what it is about this dude that is making you, poor and middle class people, what is making you go down this path? It's like you're driving.
Well, it's obviously that they're killing it in the stock market. They're killing it in the stock market, dude. So hey, we got about 15. I want to take a little turn. It's still kind of in the same political thing, but I posted this thing. I don't know if you want, but I thought it'd be a fun. Or Raiders fans. I'm a Raider fan, but I know we suck, so it's okay. That's why I can't watch. I haven't watched football in like 15 years because every time I'm like, oh, the Raiders are gonna win. Oh, did we just give up 48 points in 3 minutes? How the fuck did that happen?
Hilarious.
All right. But I wrote this little thing because
exactly. Derek said it right there. Trump confirms their prejudices and biases.
Yes, absolutely.
Most definitely.
So I wrote this thing. You saw it. I wrote this thing because I keep seeing all these heartwarming stories. Okay. So you know those heartwarming stories. So here's my thing. I said this. Here's my interpretation of every heartwarming internet story. You know those ones. Did you hear about this? Did you hear about the old man? Old man like here's the headline. Old man scrounges for pennies and sells off all of his most prized possessions to cover his granddaughter's leukemia treatment after her parents are shot in a mass shooting by a mentally ill Christian white supremacist who was angry at the libtards and the bad hombres because they might get universal health care coverage. And the insurance company canceled her coverage since the policy doesn't cover dead parents. Okay? And I'm like, I'm tired of hearing these fucking these because this is what those things basically this is the summing up of all those heartwarming. Oh, what a great old granddad who went out and scrounged pennies to help. He shouldn't have to. This is the summary of every one of those things right there though. Person makes very bad sacrifice he or she shouldn't have to do because something other countries and societies do as a standard policy because the GOP hates taxes unless they're going into their pockets, the pockets of their donors or corporations. Oh, and they're also shitty people with zero empathy or respect for other humans.
To that point, exactly. That's right there. Can we put that on a card? Does Hallmark make that?
Exactly.
To that point, this dude bragged about spending $20 trillion on war. $20 trillion. Anyone sitting at home with no money, trying to figure out how you're going to pay the bill, I want you to write down the figure $20 trillion. Just write it down on a piece of paper. And then...
It's 23 now.
Yeah. That's on war. $23 trillion. Now, that same person that is bragging now about spending $23 trillion is the same person telling you that you can't have health care. You can't have a good education. Your kids can't have a great education. You're not guaranteed Social Security. I want to say that one more time.
Right, which is not a tax, by the way. You pay into it.
Exactly.
Social Security is not taxes.
Let's say that one more time for the idiots in the back. $20 trillion spent on war, but you, sitting here in America, cannot afford to eat and have regular health care. What kind of goddamn sense does that make? I can't even say that without getting angry because you all are part of the problem with what is happening now. Because if you want to, I'll be honest with you. If you want to debate gun laws, that's fine. That's a policy. We can debate that all day. You shouldn't be debating whether you should have a livable wage or a regular, comfortable existence as a human being, especially as someone that pays taxes.
Right. Well, that's the thing. So 57% of our taxes go to the military-industrial complex. David's saying homeless is a government's fault. David, you're right. All the shit, and you said David says I'm gonna sound stupid because I even stopped voting because I don't think it counts anymore. I'm not gonna call you stupid, David, but
please vote.
But you have to vote. You're probably more conservative than me. I don't care. You have to vote. It's your right. And it does count. There's actually a story. You look this up. It was about, I think it might have been 2016. It was like a congressional district, or it might have been like a state senate in Virginia. And the girl won literally by one vote. Somebody's one vote counted enough to make this person win. And the thing is that when there's a high turnout, we see things get done. We saw it in 2018 with the Democratic wave that we had, because we had a 55, 57% turnout. It does matter. It really does. And here's the thing. Sometimes we vote people in and they fucking suck anyway. We think they're going to be great and they suck. Or we vote people in and they can't get anything done. You know what? It doesn't mean that they're bought out. It doesn't mean that it just means that they didn't do their job. So guess what? We put pressure on them, or we vote them out and get somebody else in there, and we keep voting and getting people in until somebody does something. But if we turn out and we vote, they can't ignore us all. Mm-hmm. That's the fact. But they don't want you to vote.
Which is why they want this is why you're having the voter suppression.
Yeah,
this is why you're having
if your vote didn't count, the Republicans wouldn't be spending billions of dollars to stop people from voting.
Oh, by the way,
and purging people from voting rolls. They wouldn't be doing that if your vote didn't count.
We just said this while we were outside. Again, to the $23 trillion spent on war, but and the imminent threat of the guy that we had to kill, even though he's been an imminent threat, quote unquote, for 3+ years. Mueller, the CIA, the FBI have all concluded that Russia interfered in the election, and they're doing it again now. Guess how much money the Republicans have spent on cybersecurity to avoid that happening and protecting our American democracy?
Does it represent a goose egg? Or does it look like the same shape?
Yes.
Oh.
Which is ironic because it represents a goose step. See, I did it with it.
Boom.
Okay, and just to give you an idea,
but by the way, and let's not forget the imminent threat that Iran, that Soleimani he was an imminent threat. He was gonna do something. We don't know what, and no one knows. But our best intelligence agencies in the world, that are the worst intelligence agencies in the world, last week, they told us that he was gonna do something imminent. So we would go without Congress, without approval, and assassinate, which violates all sorts of international laws, in a country that he wasn't, in Iraq, by the way. He wasn't even in his own country. We have to assassinate this dude without any sort of actual government steps, because he was an imminent threat. He was going to blow up American Idol next week, and we can't lose Simon Cowell or whatever. So whatever he's not even on that show anymore, but whatever the deal, that was the imminent threat. Meanwhile, we know that there is a constant imminent threat,
and we're doing nothing.
Nothing. Why don't we go bomb Putin? Wouldn't that make more sense? That guy is.
He's not going to bomb his boyfriend.
Well,
that is not going to happen.
Well, here's the thing. Who do you think probably told him to bomb Iran?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's make to Iraq, actually. But
I'm going to give you time to think of yours, but I just came up with this new section that we should add to the show. And I shout out to Rich Rubin, because when I would do his podcast, he would call it the douche kazoo of the week, but it was a sports thing, so it would always be like a sports thing person that they, So we're not going to call it douche kazoo because he already has that, but I'm going to just pick out the asshole of the week. So I'm going to read mine, and you think of yours if you have one. If not, we'll do one next time. But I want to give a shout-out.
I think this would be mine, too.
Oh, okay.
Congressman?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
So this is our first time ever, and mutual asshole of the week goes to the GOP congressman who purposely posted a fake
Gosser
photo.
Like
Paul Gosser.
Gosser, yes.
Purposely. I want to say that again. And this is what's fucked up about Facebook and allowing these, because they only allowing politicians to lie. I want to say that one more time. They're only allowing politicians to lie. Let me say that one more time. They're only allowing politicians to lie. Now, this guy, Arizona Rep. Paul Gosser, posted a Photoshop pic of Obama, every GOP's favorite person.
By the way, real quick, public service announcement. Obama is no longer president, and
hasn't been for years.
Hillary is no longer
She's not even running.
Was she ever president?
Never. But you would think that she was.
Yeah, No, Hillary was never president, and still is never president. So, yeah. Okay.
Now let me tell you what this dude said. Okay, and this is why I say, quit saying that both of these parties are exactly the same. Quit saying that, because they're not. This dude had zero remorse. His exact words were. He says, no one said it wasn't photoshopped. Now, let me tell you why he did what he did. Not just because he's an evil fuck. Not just because he's lower than scum. He posted a Photoshop pic of Obama because they've trained your dumbasses to only pay attention to shit that is critical of Obama, even if it's not fucking true. They've trained you dumb
And even if
fucks.
it's completely irrelevant to what's going on now.
So that's one. But the other thing is, for him to say, well, no one said it wasn't Photoshop. He posted it knowing that you guys would just see that and run with it.
Right.
Because you don't research.
And what he said was, which was kind of smart in that he was ambiguous. He said, both of these guys should die or something like that. The world would be a better place if both these guys were gone or whatever. So, which is a fucking weird, vague threat, by the way.
But aren't you mad at people that threaten the president then?
Yeah, no,
I thought you guys don't like that.
And then he's saying, I didn't say it wasn't photoshopped. I'm just putting them both there to say it's great if these two guys were gone. I never said anything about this is an actual photo. But you never said you didn't, you fuck. You knew exactly what you were doing by posting this.
These are grown men who make laws. I want to say that again to you guys so you understand the severity of where we are. These are grown men that make laws that affect you as common citizens. Now, I know you think, well, it's no big deal because he didn't Photoshop anything bad on my team. It doesn't fucking matter. If he has no qualms about posting this bullshit propaganda, false narrative, do you think he really cares about you? Do you think he cares? He doesn't. He just wants your vote. He just wants your vote. That's it. He will vote against you having health care, just like he doesn't give a fuck about you not knowing that this was false. Stop falling for this dumb shit.
Well, and when you know that it's true, once you find out that it's bullshit, stop rationalizing and making the shit okay. That's the thing that kills. Like, here's the thing. They'll always turn around and go, oh, well, if it was Chuck Schumer that did it, you wouldn't have a problem with it. Bullshit. First off, show me a time that that's happened that I haven't had a problem with it. You can't because it's never fucking happened in the first place.
That's the only...
But if it did happen, if Obama had gone behind, if Obama was being... People said, oh, if Obama did it, you have a problem with it. Bullshit. If Obama was being impeached for 27 fucking counts of obstruction of justice and working with the Russians...
You'd ask for a fucking firing squad.
If he had done all of that shit... Even though I liked Obama and I voted for Obama, and he was being impeached, and he went and without Congress's approval or even telling anybody, went and fucking assassinated a guy without even seeing what kind of repercussions, because this is going to have fucking repercussions. Not saying that he wasn't a bad guy. We know he was a bad guy.
By the way, repercussions that are going to affect you, average American citizens.
Directly, yes. And I would be like, what the fuck, Obama? We got to fucking do... Of course I would. Why the fuck? The only reason you say I wouldn't is because you fucking wouldn't, because you're a fucking tribalistic fucking piece of shit. I would, because I don't give a fuck about the tribe or Obama.
No, if it's wrong,
or fucking,
it's wrong.
It's fucking wrong.
And
like, why is that so hard for you fucking people?
Well, the reason why it's hard for them is because, again, they've been trained to not go against their team. I have...
Wait,
never once have I ever heard a Trump supporter say, yes, he's wrong for that. It's always a whataboutism or...
Well, you know, Obama was the one that started the cages.
And this is why you guys have to understand something. At the end of the day, and I don't know how much time we got left. What we got left?
Like 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay, so I will be quick. I'll be quick on this part. I know you gotta say something here.
No, I was just gonna have to do a funny quote, but it's okay. Funny post.
Okay.
There you go.
I just want you guys to understand something. Everybody's sitting at home right now, no matter what side you're on. If you're not rich, I keep saying this, people don't want to believe me. If you don't have any real power, I'm not talking about the power that you have in your home. I'm not talking about the power that you have at your job. I'm talking about real power to make moves and change people's lives. The people that do have the power to change people's lives don't care. On that side, I shouldn't say that. Because people say, "Oh, then that means Democrats." No.
But the other ones need to shut up because they're fucking celebrities.
You see what I'm saying? Quit fighting the battles for the people that aren't fighting for you. They're not fighting for you. You are. Yes. You know what you are. You're like the person. You're
a fucking pawn, is what you are.
You're the You ever see the action movie where the guy has to shield himself, so he grabs another human body and just puts it in front of him?
Right.
That's what you guys are. They're like, hey, give me that dude from the South, and give me that dude from the Midwest, and give me that dude that loves the Confederate flag, and give me that person right there that don't read, and give me that person right there that only believes everything that we say just because we're this tribe, and I'm just gonna use them as a bulletproof shield. Stop it.
And meanwhile, those people, when the bullets start flying, the Mitch McConnells and the Donald Trumps go, women and children first.
Goddamn right. Goddamn right.
Quick, build me a shield, Melania, out of your flesh. Because I can buy another one of you.
Oh my God, man. Okay. All right. So
I was gonna say, but it's too. I was gonna say it earlier. I would like to come up with. We do it next time. I want to always come up with a bad inspirational story for headline. Man sells his own food and whatever, sells his blood so that he can pay his rent. Isn't it a heartwarming story? No, it's not. It shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't. That's exactly. These types of things shouldn't be a part. When you have food drives in a society that spent $23 trillion to fight, no one's.
Here's my other heartwarming story. Young black child quits middle school to sling crack when his mom loses her job. Isn't that a heartwarming story?
We'll talk about it 20 years after he gets out of prison.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
it's a heartwarming story about a young boy who's helping his family out.
Hard knock life streets. Okay, so we gotta get ready to wrap this up. Okay, I know we always say this, that we would try to end on a positive note, so I will try. Okay, here we go. It is possible to change things. It is very possible to change things if you truly want to. If you don't want to, shit will just continue the way it is, and the people that are pulling the strings will continue to pull the strings. And I guarantee you they're not pulling the strings for you, because if they were, you'd be better off now than you were 3 years ago. This is what they said, right? This dude has been in power 3 years. You know what I saw the headline. They said the rich got richer. That's a real thing. That's what happened in 2019. The rich got richer. Tell me how your life has gotten better. If you're still living in a trailer park, tell me how your life has gotten better. If you got to put off getting an operation done because you can't afford it, tell me how your life has gotten better. If you got to work 3 or 4 jobs and you can't help your kid with homework, tell me how your life has gotten better under this administration. Now, real quick, tell me how much you believe in people that won't give you information that is vital to proving their innocence. Tell me how much you believe in them. I don't have it. I'm not even gonna say. You sign off. I'm not gonna.
Well, let's roll real quick. Let's thank everybody. Derek, Corey, David, Zen,
John,
yes,
Suzanne.
All kinds of people. Everybody who jumped in here today.
Richard, Chris, Stacy, Todd, Phil, Vince.
No, Rob. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. And yeah, you can find our various stuff. Comedian Ty Barnett.
Sorry.
.com, IanHarrisComedian.com. You can find us there. For here, go to patreon.com/critical and thinking and donate. And even if you want to sign up for the month, it's like $2. It helps us pay all the bills, helps us keep coming. If you like the show, if not, it doesn't matter. Listen to it. Watch it free on YouTube. Listen to it free on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Google Play. If you do, please subscribe and like and give a comment, because it helps boost us, and then more people tune in. So please go on iTunes or whatever you like to listen to, like it, give it a star rating. Hey, these guys are fucking great. Whatever. Please, because it really helps us. Do it right now. You got time? Go ahead.
For the Trump supporters out there, just so you know, every time you donate to us, we give 100% of everything that you give to us. We give it to starving Republicans.
Yes.
So I know you may ask us for proof of that, but you don't need it, right?
Every $2 a month actually goes to build a new cage for a Mexican kid or an El Salvadorian. We don't discriminate. El Salvadorian, Guatemalan. Cages for kids.
We out. Critical Thinking Podcast.
See you next time.